Hello, my name is Josh Callis. This is my interview YouTube video for food service management. The person I interviewed, his name was Wade Smith. He was my sous chef out in Sequoia National Park at a place called the Wasatch Lodge, out in California. I know he's not local, but this guy really kind of influenced me a little bit. He was a tough guy to work for, but he would spend the time and help you, and some of the things he taught me were great lessons, and I don't know, I'll always be appreciative of that, so this is why I interviewed him. And I had to do half the interview over the phone and then half the interview over email because of the communication situation out there. So the first question I asked him was what his current position was, and his current position is the sous chef over at the Wasatch Lodge in Sequoia National Park. It's run by a company called Delaware North Companies. He also said that before he was working there, he was working for another Delaware North Companies project or property in Columbus, Ohio, is where he was from. It was the Nationwide Stadium, the home of the Columbus Blue Jackets. I asked him how long he'd been in the industry. He's been in the industry about 14-15 years. He said he started working as a dishwasher at a restaurant when he was in high school, and by the time he finished high school he was working there as a line cook, and he said the chef there kind of influenced him to go into culinary school, so he did, and ever since then he's been working in different restaurants and hotels and throughout Columbus. He said he was working at a couple Spanish tapas places, working at like some French and American cuisine places. He worked at the Hilton, so he's kind of been, and then Nationwide Stadium, he's kind of been all over the place. I asked him what the most challenging part of managing was. He said that the hardest part is just making sure that everything in the kitchen is well organized and becomes like a well-oiled machine. The fact that out in Wasatch Lodge in Sequoia National Park you have so many people coming in from so many different parts of the world that don't know all the rules about the kitchen and the laws, that it's challenging just to constantly be training them and overseeing them, making sure that they're doing right, making sure that they have the help that they need. It's just kind of hard, and then the amount of volume of people that we do out in the summer, it's just kind of hard to do two things at one time, making sure that the quality is there and everything. I asked him what one of the greatest joys of the kitchen is, and he definitely said the money is. Working as a sous chef was a nice pay raise compared to working as a line cook. He also says that he likes just having the responsibility of having control of the kitchen. He loves people using his recipes. He loves telling people what to do. He just loved having control, just having people ask him what to do and everything. He says that's pretty neat. And then I asked another question: how do you find people? And the way the Wasatch Lodge finds people is that their human resources department is set up or partnered with some employment agencies from around the world that basically take university students or college students that are in the hospitality and restaurant business and places them in hotels in the United States so they can do basically their internship. So we typically, or the Wasatch Lodge typically got a bunch of people from, last year we got from Thailand, the Philippines, China, Russia, Ukraine, Slovenia, Italy, and France, and it was just a great group of people. But basically those employment agencies put the people in the kitchen. So I asked him how does he motivate his staff. I know firsthand the way he motivates his staff. He would yell at us. It was very annoying, but it was very efficient in getting things done. People became so afraid of getting yelled at that they made sure that when they got into the kitchen they would put their head down and get the job done, and it turned out to make the kitchen a real nice working machine, you know. I asked him how does he describe his management style, and he said that I am the drill sergeant and you are the privates, and I will yell at you until you get the job done. So that's basically how he said. Very military in style, which is a good thing, you know. It definitely gets the job done, and then once everybody kind of gets to a certain point, you know, he lays off of them after a while. I asked him how does he deal with the management, the stress of management, and he says that yelling helps a lot. He also says that the 45-minute drive from the lodge down to his house is filled with some of America's most beautiful scenery. He's like, that helps a lot. He also says that cranking up the heavy metal on that drive also helps. I asked him who influenced him the most. He said that when he was in high school, the restaurant that he worked at, Chef John, was the guy that influenced him the most. He would also yell at people, but he'd also take the time and help people out and just tell them, you know, how to properly do this and do that and all that. And he said he was very influential on him also going into culinary school. I asked him what are the most memorable stories, or one of them, and he said that one of the best stories was that he had two line cooks fighting one night. They were like pushing and shoving at each other, and it was going to get really out of hand right before service. So the chef grabbed both of them, threw them into the elevator, locked the door, and told them that don't come out until you fight, and only one of you can walk out. And the two line cooks were so shocked by that they like made up and went back out, and it ended up being like one of the best nights on the line, he said, for them. And those two guys ended up becoming friends, so go figure. And then I also asked him, does he ever see himself owning a restaurant? He said yes, but not now. He's like, he doesn't have the financial resources, and just restaurants are so iffy. And I asked him, well, what kind of restaurant would you open? He said that just like a pub or a bar with like good with like heavy metal music and good food. So he's never been to Kuma's Corner before, but I imagine it'd be something like that. So again, I interviewed sous chef Wade Smith from Wasatch Lodge out in Sequoia National Park. He was my sous chef over the summer, and he was very influential on me. He taught me a lot, which is really cool. So yeah, there's my report. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks.